Good morning. Welcome to Yoga with Lauren on this Monday morning. Here we go, Monday. Today we're gonna do some wrist mobility exercises and we'll do cat-cow and then I'm gonna teach you downward facing dog. So we will be on the floor. If you have a hard floor and you don't have a yoga mat that's cushy, have a blanket or a pillow that you could pad your knees if you want to. So go ahead and gather maybe a blanket or a pillow if you need, and then we'll get started here right after I drink some tea. Okay, so let's do our seated centering. Get comfortable in a chair or on the floor if you like. Finding your sit bone, fidgeting around like I am until you can really feel yourself rooted into your sit bones, into your chair or the floor, and then sit up taller through your spine, both feet to the floor if you're in a chair. If and when you like, you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and begin to find your breath, finding an inhale and an exhale. Breathing in a way that feels comfortable for you. And as you continue to breathe in a way, in a pace that feels comfortable for you, think about rooting your sit bones into the floor of the chair, sitting up taller through your spine, getting broader through your collarbones, saying yes to life. And just beginning to breathe some space and awareness into your body. Let go of what you were doing before and what you'll be doing after, and just be here now, breathing. Allowing your breath to help you come home to your body. Allowing your breath to bring your attention inward. And allowing yourself just some time to breathe for a few moments in silence. And at the end of your next exhalation, you can slowly open your eyes if you like. Place your palms to face up. As you inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Bring your palms together. Exhale your hands down to your heart. Smile and say thank you to yourself for doing this practice today. And if there's someone or something in your life you'd like to extend some love and light to, you can think of that person, persons, or situation now. Good, and then you can release your hands and come to standing if you're able. Unless you had an injury and you wanted to do the wake up routine in a chair, you could sit. Otherwise, coming to standing, we're gonna do our wake up routine. Inhaling through your nose, exhale through your mouth the whole time. At a pace that's comfortable for you. Find your collarbones, trace down below, and start thumping, tapping right below your collarbones. This is the end point of your kidney meridian. Helps to wake up your whole energy body system. And remember to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth to help release stuck energy. And then come to the center of your chest, over your sternum, thump there. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Use whatever pressure feels good for you with the thumping. It might be softer, it might be a little deeper pressure. So here we're thumping over our thymus gland, helps with your immune system. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Then come to your spleen points, side seams of your breast or pectoral muscles. Rub, thump there. As you inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So our spleen energy is really important. It also helps with your immune system. And your spleen energy does a lot of things, like helps metabolize what you eat, helps kind of process your emotions. Shake your hands off, come right under your eyes, bony cheekbone area, thumping, gently tapping there. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and just continue at your own pace. A pace of breathing that feels good and serving for you, a pace of thumping and pressure of thumping that feels good for you. Good. Remove your hands, pause and find stillness and silence. Tune into your energetic body for a few breaths. Good. Just those thumps warmed me up enough. I'm ready to lose my sweater. And then we'll be moving into the cross crawl next of the wake up, helping our energy move in crosswise patterns. Same arm to same knee, opposite same arm to same knee. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Work at a pace that works for you. Shake your hands off, opposite arm to opposite knee. And continue. You might want to move faster or slower than me. Your movement might look a little different. Go ahead and tune in to what feels serving for you and your body. So like I said here, we're helping our energy move in a crosswise pattern. We want our energy to move in a crosswise pattern. Good, go ahead and stop that. Shake your hands off. Diving into the zip up, helping our energy move upward, help protect you from absorbing other people's energy. Take your hands like so to cover your low body. On your next inhale, just sweep your hands right up the center line, tap your chin. As you exhale, your hands come down around you. Also a good time to set an intention if there's a certain way you want to feel. And then I want you to do that 2 more times at your own pace. Inhale, pull energy up, pull your intention up. Exhale, send your hands down around you, your energy and tension out around you. Till you've done 3. Once you've completed 3, we'll move into the hookup. 3rd finger to your belly button, opposite 3rd finger between your eyebrows. I will cue you to push it and pull up. If that doesn't feel good, you don't have to. You can just hover your fingers above your body. So as you inhale, you push and pull up. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more times, your own pace. Good. Once you've completed 3, you can shake your hands off. Good job on doing the wake up. And now we'll dive into our movement after I get some tea. It's Monday, right? Okay, go ahead and come on down to find a seated position on the floor. However is comfortable for you. I like to sit on my knees. You can even sit in a chair if that's more comfortable for you. And I just want you to take your wrists and start to circle your wrists. I can hear some snap, crackle, popping in my right wrist. You might notice that. Try to relax your shoulders if you're like me and you like to hunch your shoulders up. Just circle your wrists. And then circle your wrists the opposite direction. So we're gonna work to downward facing dog, and first we're gonna really try to open up our wrists. A lot of times if you have wrist pain in downward facing dog, it might be because you have limited mobility in your wrists, so that you wanna do some exercises like these to get more mobility in your wrists. Okay, we can stop the wrist circles, and now take your hands straight out, point your fingers up to the ceiling, and really isometrically reach your fingers up to the ceiling. Reach those fingers, and then curl your fingers in and curl your wrists down, and then continue. Fingers stretch up, reach up, try and relax your shoulders if you're like me and you're using your shoulders. And then fingers curl in, okay, and continue. Breathe in a way that's comfortable for you here. Just waking up, saying hello to our wrists this morning. Fingers stretch up. Curl those fingers in, curl your wrists in, relax your shoulders. I keep trying to use my shoulders when I'm really just wanting to use my wrists. Do about 2 more. And that's just a great awareness point if you notice a different area of your body tensing, like for me, my shoulders are tensing, just to kind of be aware of that you have this little bit of a compensation pattern I do that my shoulders try and take over. Okay, so now we're gonna come down to all 4s. So if you have a hard floor, please pad your knees with a blanket or a pillow. If just being down in all 4s is painful on your wrist, you can come up and do what we just did. But otherwise, I want you to come down to all 4s. And I want you, instead of pointing your fingers forward, point your fingers out to the edge of your yoga mat, out to the sides. And make sure you're flattening all your fingers into the mat. And then stretch your thumb so that between your thumb and your index finger is an L shape as best you can. And really press those fingers down to the mat. So press into the mound of your thumb, root of your index knuckle, mound of your pinky outside the wrist, and all fingers pressed into the mat. And just think about pushing Your hands into the mat, drawing strength into your shoulder blades and isometrically externally rotating through your shoulder blades. And just really push down through those hands and breathe. You can either stay here, or if you want to move into a little cat-cow of looking towards your heart, rounding up your back, but really make sure your hands are pressed into the mat. We're mostly focusing on those wrists here, but you can do a little cat-cow action. Just keep pressing your hands into the mat, fingers are flat, stretching that thumb so there's an L between your thumb and your index knuckle, an L shape, I should say. You can even think about isometrically drawing your wrists and fingers out towards the edge of your mat. And arching and curling your spine, getting a little flexion and extension going in your spine. Good. If this causes you pain and you want to come up for a little bit and do some wrist circles, you can, okay? But otherwise, it could be strong sensation. Just breathe into it. And now I want you to take your fingers and point them backwards as best you can. So this is a little more intense than the first one. And again, spread your thumb wide so that there's an L shape between your thumb and your index knuckle. And then root down through the four corners of your hands. Make sure your arms, see how mine are directly under your shoulder blades, that your arms are right under your shoulder blades. So you're rooting down through the mound of your thumb, root of your index knuckle, mound of your pinky, outside of the wrist. Really pressing all four corners of your hand, all fingers flat into the mat. And then just find your breath. If you're not in strong sensation, begin to lean back towards your heels. It's going to bring it a little more into your forearms. You'll get a really strong stretching sensation. Breathe into it. If anything's painful and you don't feel safe, you can always come out and do some wrist circles, come off your wrists or come back into it. Just breathe. This can be super strong sensation, especially in, your dominant hand that you use a lot. It's okay, just breathe into it. Let yourself know you're safe. If you don't feel safe and you need to come out, always take care of yourself. Otherwise, just breathe. Just notice those sensations, the tightness, that area. It just needs to be stretched out. We need to work up some of that tight fascia. Breathing, if you've come back and you've come too far, you can always come forward a little. Otherwise, breathe into it for just a little bit longer. Making sure you feel safe though. If you don't feel safe and you need to come out, that's okay. If you are someone that has limited wrist mobility or pain in downward facing dog, I would recommend to do these stretches every day, to your capacity, always going back to the one that you feel safe to. And then slowly come forward if you're hinged back and slowly peel one hand forward. Oh my gosh, I know. Oh, that right hand. And the other hand forward. And then go ahead and point your fingers forward like normal all four shape. Just kind of notice what you feel. We're gonna move into cat-cow. If your wrists are extremely sore, you could come down to your forearms. Otherwise, if you're able to, on your hands, rooting down through the mound of your thumb, root of your index knuckle, mound of your pinky, outside of your wrist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, look towards your heart, round up into a cat back. And then as you inhale, lengthen forward, look forward, fan out your imaginary peacock feathers, and then continue. Exhale, round. Stay really grounded in the four corners of your hand. Tone in your belly, have a little lift in your ribs so you're not dumping in your low back. And just move back and forth through flexion and extension of the spine. Remember, if your wrists are in pain, you could come down to forearms and do cat-cow. Find your breath. Breathe some space into your body. Notice what's going on in your hands and wrists. Good, okay, and then come to neutral spine, and I want to teach you into downward facing dog. So we'll start in the all four shape. I'm just moving to the top of my mat. And the really important thing in downward facing dog is when you come up, your hands become your feet. So you want this super stable base in your hands. And we're going to do that by, again, rooting through the mound of your big thumb, the root of your index knuckle, the mound of your pinky, the outside of your wrist, and pressing those hands into the mat, imagining their feet and they have to support you. And then the next important thing is to turn on your shoulder stabilizer muscles. And you can do this by pushing into your hands, drawing strength into your shoulder blades, externally rotating your arm bones in the socket. That turns on your shoulder stabilizers. Walk your knees 2 to 3 inches behind your hips. Keep all that strength in your shoulders. When you're ready, press your knees up in the downward facing dog. You really want to press through the 4 corners of your hands, mound to your thumb, root to your index knuckle, mound to your pinky, outside of your wrist. Because remember, these are now your feet, your whole foundation's in your hands. Especially press through your index knuckle to take more pressure off your wrists. And then from your hands, you're reaching up your arm bones to your heart. From your energetic heart, you're reaching up to your hips. From your hips, you're extending down the long bones of your legs as if you could lower your heels into the mat. And then again, from your heart, you're really pressing through the arm bones of your arms into your hands. If you don't feel safe, if you have wrist pain, you can just lower your knees into puppy at any time. Otherwise, find your breath, breathe some space into your body here in downward facing dog. Make sure you're not in a half plank, but your hips are way back, shoulder blades on your back. And you can find any movement in downward facing dog, perhaps bending one knee and then the other. Coming up to tiptoes. Your ears are in line with your biceps, with your head, so you don't have to look up or hold your head up too much. Just breathe, knowing you can come down with your knees at any time if you want to do puppy pose. Two or three more breaths here, unless you want to come down early. And then go ahead and lower your knees, lengthen out into puppy pose, reach your arms forward, release your forehead to the mat. If your forehead doesn't hit the mat, you could put a blanket or a pillow underneath it. Go ahead and release down and soften into a puppy pose shape. Breathe some space into the back of your body. You can shake your hips a little. Find your breath. And then go ahead and take your knees as wide as your mat and soften in, big toes together into a child's pose where you're releasing in your hips, lengthening your arms forward, letting your bones sink into gravity, finding your breath, letting your breath allow you to soften. Allow yourself to be held by gravity and allow your breath to help you soften and release here. And then you can gently push yourself up from your child's pose and find a seated position for the close of our class. Or if you're really loving your child's pose and you want to stay there for the close of class, by all means do that. Sometimes being in child's pose can feel really nice. From wherever you're at, go ahead and take a nice deep inhale and a full complete exhale. Do that again. Deep inhale. Full exhale. If you like, I invite you to bring your hands into Anjali Mudra prayer hands. Again, if there's someone or something in your life you'd like to extend some love and light to, you can think of that person, persons, or situation now. And I'll close with the Namaste. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Thank you.